Thank you guys for joining us back here at Tego Cyber's channel. We're, of course, sitting here once again with Shannon, and we want to dive into the world of cybersecurity. And right now in the world, there is a big threat going on. We're talking about this Russian cybersecurity, this risk here. Tell us what's going on, Shannon. Is this something people should really be worried about?
I think it is something, maybe not worried that it's going to affect us immediately, but it's definitely something that is a possibly or a maybe. We've had warnings from CISA, or the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, where a couple weeks ago they issued the Shields Up guidance that Russia could possibly launch cyber attacks against the US and US targets. As well as just a couple days ago, we had the White House and the Biden administration come out and say, yes, Russia is definitely possibly preparing to launch cyber attacks, both against organizations as well as critical infrastructure within the US. So there's definitely a need to be aware that this is a possibility. There's nothing saying that this is a 100% given, though.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just one of the new tools in the tool belt of potential warfare, so to speak, then.
Exactly. So we've talked for a long time about cyber attacks and cyber warfare being like the fifth tenet of warfare. And I think it's actually the first time that it's truly been used in this type of situation, where we see both the Ukraine and Russia employing cyber attacks against each other, as well as the hacktivists that are getting involved, anonymous and such, and in launching attacks and calling out organizations and calling out for attacks on organizations that, possibly are still doing business within Russia. And I think, though, for people that are worried and wondering, what does it mean for cyber attacks by Russia? I think we can kind of look back to just 12 months ago to the Colonial Pipeline and the JBS ransomware attacks. Both of those were believed to be Russian state-sponsored, or at least Russian-backed attacks. And we kind of saw how those cyber attacks affected the daily lives of ordinary citizens. And, the thing with, if Russia employed cyber attacks in this type of warfare situation, unlike back when Colonial and JBS were able to pay those very large ransoms, with warfare engaged, it probably would be the case of there would not be a ransom demanded, and those computer systems could just be rendered inoperable.
Yeah, I guess their goal isn't to extract any sort of currency out of the U.S. at that point. It's just to kind of damage us, then, so to speak.
Exactly. And another thing that's kind of interesting to note, actually, was in leading up to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, there was actually a coordinated attack against 21 natural gas suppliers in the US, where it's believed Russian-backed hackers, although, it's not 100% attributed to Russia, but basically attackers were able to get into about 100 different employee accounts and computers, ranging either from like technical IT support people to the actual gas line operators of these natural gas suppliers within the US. So a little bit, the timing of the attack and the attack itself, a little bit suspicious, might not be a coincidence.
Fair enough. So this is something that may or may not be coming, but is there anything at an individual level that people can do?
So again, CISA did issue that Shields Up directive a couple weeks ago, of just employing some of those cybersecurity best practices that we should all be doing, like using two-factor authentication, making sure that vulnerabilities are patched and such. And then also, just a couple of days ago, the White House also issued some directives on how organizations and companies can, better protect themselves and do all they can to make sure that their cybersecurity defenses are shored up.
Perfect. Well, Shannon, thank you for coming on and sharing your insight. And thank you, everyone, for watching. You guys heard her. Shore up, take control of your cybersecurity. And Shannon, we will see you again next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.